Authorities at the Akuse prisons on Friday failed to account for 8 prisoners in their custody who were billed to appear before a makeshift court in the prisons. 2 judges who went to the prisons as part of the Justice for All program were shocked when 8 persons were missing from the list of 23 remand cases slated for hearing. Prison officers were unable to explain the circumstances under which the 8 could not appear before the court, except to say that 2 out of the 8 have been granted bail. However, they failed to produce any documentary evidence to that effect. The head of the Justice for All program, Justice Clemens Honyega, was disappointed with the outcome of events.
Well, the number as we have is 8. 8 were absent. But we've been told some have been taken away by the police investigators and that sort of thing, and those matters will be thoroughly investigated because it took orders of the court to get them into prison, and it's only other orders of the court that will take them out. We are not very happy about the police coming for the accused persons before our sitting, so that matter will be thoroughly investigated and a report given accordingly.
Well, 4 remand prisoners were, however, discharged. 2 granted bail, 1 case was struck out, and 2 inmates had their bail conditions reviewed. 1 case did not fall within the jurisdiction of the makeshift court, so they did not rule on it. 8 obviously were missing at the court, as we reported earlier, and the prison officers have been given a May-ending ultimatum to produce a report detailing why they were unable to produce the prisoners, despite being aware that the court will be sitting in the prisons today. Meanwhile, human rights lawyer Francis Xavier Susu is unhappy with the attitude of the police, whom he say are trying to undermine the success of the Justice for All program.
My only disappointment is the fact that we could not account for 8 of the inmates, and I'm disappointed because I have seen the police, if you like, mount a very, for want of better words, a very calculated attempt at discrediting or undermining the Justice for All program. And that one, I feel very disappointed about that. In the first place, it could be that ordinarily these people are meant to go to court today. If that is the case, that they were due for court and that is the reason why they were taken, I don't fault police about that. But I doubt whether it was really the case that they were due for court, because in other places we've had similar incidents. When we went to Koforidua for Justice for All program, there were people we could not account for. When we went to Isawam, there were people we could not account for, and we learned and we are reliably informed that there are times that the police quickly come and take this inmate out when they hear that the Justice for All program is coming to the prisons. So I have every reason to believe that the police are out there to discredit the Justice for All program.
All right, now there was drama at the Upper West Regional Police Headquarters when suspected criminals were lined up for an identification parade. Victims who came for the exercise refused to identify 7 of the suspects for fear of being haunted by their accomplices who they believe were in their midst. Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
Many people thronged the forecourt of the Upper West Regional Police Headquarters to catch a glimpse of the 8 suspected criminals who were to be paraded for identification. They are Malik Ahmed, Mohamed Tobashiru, Majid Naziru and Sabutu Mahama. The rest are Al-Hassan Mubarak, Kamaldeen Idris and Sumaila Dauda. Malik Ahmed is believed to be the most notorious and deadliest amongst them. He is suspected of being the mastermind of several robbery incidents in that enclave, an allegation he is denied. They were made to stand at the compound of the municipal police headquarters for their supposed victims to identify them. After waiting for about 30 minutes and without any of the victims showing up, the police had no alternative than to bring the parade to an end. Upper West Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Police Service, Joy Afagbaji, explained to the press why they had to end the exercise abruptly.
There was a robbery on the major road over there. Exactly. So on a tip off, we had him arrested. And so we needed the evidence to implicate him as one of those highway robbers. But unfortunately, that cooperation has not been forthcoming from the public, based on the aforementioned reason that the public is given. Well, the only alternative is that we have to plead with the media to continue with this announcement and just hope that at the appropriate time we will set a new date for the identification parade.
However, the crowd at the police station was obviously unhappy about the turn of events.
We were told to come in our numbers to identify the suspected criminals. Upon seeing the crowd that gathered, the police hid the suspected criminals and they are accusing us of failing to identify them. Upon our request, the police lined them up for identification. Several people came forward, but they all failed at identifying any of the criminals.
Rafiq Salam's report for Joy News.
A fatal road accident on Friday afternoon on the Dawenya Road near the Central University College here in Accra claimed 6 lives with several others injured. Most of the dead were occupants of an ISTC minibus with registration number GM 397014 en route to Accra.
Eyewitnesses say the intercity STC Toyota bus wrongfully overtook a Honda Accord, subsequently running into an oncoming trailer. One eyewitness explained it was nearly impossible for the trailer driver to avoid the collision with the STC bus, which had over 15 occupants. A divisional officer of the Ghana Fire Service, George Cote, spoke with Joy News.
According to information, we got to know that the Toyota Ace STC vehicle was on a speed overtaking, and there was an articulator coming in front, which the articulator driver was trying his best to fall out for the STC vehicle to have its own way, but it was too late, so they came to a collision by the side of the articulator, who was trying to pave his way out for the Toyota Ace to pass. There was another articulator which is parked there. According to information, second information, the old man got down to take information from the fuel station, but on his return, when he got into his vehicle, he couldn't move because he saw what is coming. He couldn't move. I just took information from those who carried them to the hospital, and said immediately when the scene happened, there were 2 legs off. I used 2 legs off because that's our term. Yeah, but on the way going, they started dying one by one. On getting to the hospital, it was left with only 2 alive, so they don't know what is happening with the 2 left. The Honda, well, according to information on the saloon car, they found nobody inside, but they said they saw the incident and they started jumping out of the vehicle. So we see no blood, neither anybody wounded in the saloon car, but we see that it had banked or collided with a vehicle.
The accident involved multiple vehicles, but the STC minibus suffered the worst impact. At the time Joy News arrived at the scene, the police had conveyed victims to the hospital, while fire service cleared the road of parts of the STC bus and belongings of the occupants. Doctors at the Tema General Hospital, where more than 10 victims were taken, say they are working round the clock to save lives. A doctor at the hospital, however, described the injuries victims sustained as very fatal. Joy News gathered up to 6 victims died before they could be taken to any hospital.
The software developer at the Center of the University of Ghana SRC election is set to have admitted the process to elect a president for the student body was compromised and may have been used to favor one of the contestants. This is according to a report on investigations conducted by the Bureau of National Investigations intercepted by Joy News. The BNI in its report said they retrieved 6 laptop computers used as servers in the election for examination. With the personal laptop provided by the software developer Stephen Forson, a practical demonstration was conducted on the application of the software in the presence of the developer and his father, as well as other independent people. The result after the demonstration revealed that the system had been manipulated to favor one candidate. The developer, Stephen Forson, is however denying being behind the manipulation of the results. Elton John Brilbe has been speaking to the BNI.
The Bureau of National Investigation received a report of alleged manipulation of the results of the SRC elections conducted in Legon, I think last week Thursday. So based on that, we asked for some information, and then through that we were able to retrieve 6 computers, laptop computers, which were used as servers during the election. Then, with the help of a trainee of Stephen Forson, who is the developer of the software, where he was able to go into the system because he has been trained by Forson. He has the passwords. He opened the system and demonstrated to us that if you voted for a particular candidate, the vote could switch to another candidate. So what we did, we did a demonstration of 5 voters, new voters. Per the system, you can add an additional voter to the register. So by the demonstration, he added 5. Then we decided to vote for one particular candidate with a team of investigators. We were all there. We all decided that let's give 3 votes to one particular candidate. We did, and gave 2 to another candidate. When the results were declared, the one who had 3 votes got 1, and 2 of his votes went to the other guy who got 2 votes.
All right. So basically, what you're saying that the software has been manipulated in such a way that designed in such a way that it is skewed towards one particular person, and that is and this is at the instance of the person who is administering the software.
Exactly so. So based on that, we decided to test again, and we realized that all even numbers, any voter ID with an ending with an even number, goes to a particular candidate, which presupposes that 50% of the votes already automatically will have to go to a particular candidate, and the remainder of the 50% with odd numbers, ending with odd numbers, will have to be shared based on who gets the votes. Then, based on this information, we had to go and pick up the software designer, Stephen Forson. We picked him up on the 14th of this month, April, for questioning. And then when we brought him, we took him through, we asked him to take us through the process of designing the software and the process of voting. He took us through everything on his personal laptop. There was nothing. Then we gave him one of the laptops retrieved from the University of Ghana to demonstrate, and we asked him to add 5 voters as we did, with different ID numbers, both even and odd numbers. Then we asked him to vote 3 for a particular candidate and 2 for another candidate. He did, and when we asked him to declare the results on the system, he declared, and 2 votes from the one who got 3 went to the other candidate. So the candidate who got 2 votes per the votes got 4 votes at the end of the results, and the one who got 3 votes got 1 vote at the end of the results. We asked him, and he said he was surprised that this happened.
He did not know that the software could do what it did.
That's what he claims. So as to who broke into his software and inserted that code, we cannot tell for now, because he has denied that he did that. So further investigations may have to go through and find out when it was really inserted into the software. But he admits that looking at the code itself, you will know automatically. If you are an IT specialist, you will see it and know that it can manipulate.
A BNI operative there whose identity has been concealed for obvious reasons. President John Mahama has challenged claims that desalinated water supply to residents of Nungua here in Accra and its environs is of low quality. Some of the over 500,000 residents who source their potable water from the desalinated plant at Nungua have complained that apart from being salty, some of them have had health problems after drinking the water. At the official commissioning of the plant, President Mahama said the quality of water produced is among the best in the world and very safe for consumption. The desalination plant, the first of its kind in Ghana and West Africa, aims to boost water supply by extracting the salt from seawater and making it safe for human consumption. The plant pumps out about 13 million gallons of water each day. Director of Institutional Relations for Abengua, the Spanish engineering company in charge of the project, Germán Bejarano, said desalination has become even more critical because of climate change.
Africa understands the true value of water as it is currently at an environmental crossroad. It is here that climate change is taking its heaviest toll, even more so than in other parts of the world. And this fact demands decisive action by governments all of countries of the continent. And in order to ensure water security, we need to turn towards innovative and reliable solutions, such as desalination.
The over 500,000 residents who are supplied the water through their taps are generally happy about the difference the plant makes in their lives. Some of them Joy News spoke to, however, say the quality could be better.
Yes, first I have experienced it, but now it's okay. We are managing it.
Others were saying the taste of the water is still salty. But I realized some of the authorities were here and they tasted it and they realized it's good.
For quite a month ago, I had dysentery, but now I said stop. And I know it is a new system coming to our system, and as time goes on, maybe it will change. But I had a personal experience, as a matter of fact.
The president had a different opinion.
This facility has a top-class laboratory that tests the water to make sure it is always of the best quality. Some people have started spreading false information that the water quality is not good. The water is one of the best you can ever get in this world. It is safe to drink and it is safe to cook with and do whatever you want to do with it. It has improved water supply to customers of the Ghana Water Company Limited and will help us prevent some of the basic water-related illnesses that have plagued communities in this area for some time. The struggle with yellow jerry cans and numerous polytanks have been made redundant or drastically reduced in many communities.
The paramount chief of the Nungua Traditional Council, Welenche II, Ni Odafiu, also attested to the president's endorsement of the quality of the water. He says the project should not be politicized.
Water, as we all know, is an essential commodity and knows no political color or ethnic group. I would therefore entreat you not to politicize this project or the ceremony to take the shine away from the core purpose it is going to serve for the chiefs and people of the Nungua dynasty and its environs.
Water Resources, Works and Housing Minister Dr. Kwekwaji Mensah reiterated the importance of maintaining the plant in good working order, adding it is part of government's plan to extend water to all parts of the country by 2020. Abengua, the Spanish company which put up the plant, will operate it for 25 years before it is transferred to the Ghana Water Company Limited. Gifty Andopia, Joy News. Water shortages and poor services have plagued many homes across the country for years amidst consistent tariff increment. This has left many to question whether it is necessary at all to pay more for water. That notwithstanding, President John Mahama says government has invested about 1 billion cedis in water projects over the past 5 years, and the Ghana Water Company is improving on its services. He, however, adds that prompt payment of bills is imperative for sustainability. The president was speaking at Nungua, where he commissioned the first seawater desalination plant.
From Pong through Chebi to Mampong, Esacher, and Yunam, and many other areas, we have completed and in other cases expanded water treatment and supply facilities. Over the past 5 years, we have spent more than $1 billion on water supply projects across the country alone. We have therefore achieved an average water access or coverage of this country of 76% with good drinking water, rural and urban. Let us remember that we can only achieve these plans of providing our people with enough water if we pay our bills. Ghana Water Company is improving its customer service and responsiveness and billing system, and we must reciprocate by ensuring that we pay our bills promptly. I want to thank Ghana Water Company for the improvement in customer service, and I want to encourage us to pay our bills to Water Company so that they can continue to improve their service to us. And then also to thank the people of Teshinungwa. This project is your project, and its success or failure depends on you.
An Accra High Court has struck out a case of contempt brought against the opposition New Patriotic Party. 3 constituency branches of the party in Ashanti brought the case against the national chairman and general secretary. But the party told the court that it wanted the case to be settled internally and amicably. Yoni Kolendi is a lawyer for the NPP. You're welcome back. Many thanks for staying. The National Council for Tertiary Education has started implementing a policy that will bring industry players closer to students in post-secondary institutions. Executive Director of the NCTE, Professor Mahama Duwejua, says the policy will equip the student for the job market, especially at a time when unemployment is on the rise and quality of graduates on the decline. He was speaking at the Joy FM Educational Summit earlier today.
Concerns about falling standards of education in Ghana keeps growing each year, with several factors blamed for the situation. The Joy Educational Forum therefore sought to bring together top-notch educationists and industry players, as well as students from the tertiary institutions in the country, to deliberate on how to upgrade the curriculum to meet current standards and to get graduates ready for the job market. It also discussed better ways to fund tertiary education. The panelists, Dr. Lloyd Amwa of Ashesi University, Captain Budu Kumsen, Anis Hafa, an educationist, and the Executive Director of National Council for Tertiary Education, Professor Mahama Duwejua, brought enlightening perspectives to the issues.
Now, to educate the population, for me, is a fundamental responsibility of government, right? And therefore, I think that this tired argument that government cannot do it alone is a criminal argument. It is unacceptable, right? Now you cast your eyes at the way in which, for example, we run this country, those who hold power. Look at the amount of V8 that they use. You know the price of one? $142,000.
They bought 400.
They bought 400 of these. And you guys tell us you don't have money to educate the young? How can you make that argument?
Ghanaian industry has not been tested as to whether they will put their money where their mouth is. But one thing I know is that those who get off their backs and get out there to solicit for help invariably get it.
Are we going to continue producing academics? Are we going to continue doing the BEC and WASI? That is really screening people for the universities. Is this what our purpose is? That's one. Is our purpose where we are training young people to be hands-on, where they can add value to our national input through vocational and technical education? That's another one. And the third one that I think has to be conscripted into policy is this. Is our democracy for a few people?
When you come to the policy point, you also asked, there is a disconnect. We accept that. And what are we doing about it? Captain has talked about it. What we have tried from the point of policy is to bridge that gap, to try to bring academia and industry together.
For these students, the opportunity gave them a better insight into what the future looks like for education in Ghana.
I think it's a good thing. It should be encouraged. But then my concern is how far it's going to go. Is it just we talk and then it ends there, or the policymakers are actually going to listen to this and make policies that would affect us at the end of the day?
Yeah, I think my expectations have been met, considering the fact that the various speakers and analysts who were invited were able to articulate efficiently some of the problems we are facing in the education system in this country. And for me, I think knowing the problem is a way forward, because we know where to target it from.
I feel enthused and more reverberated to do more and then initiate, like, be my own boss and try to be more practical, go out there and look for solutions, because it's like all we do is theory in the schools, but the practical, the real thing is out there, the real challenge is out there, so we have to face it.
Host of the Super Morning Show, Kojo Yankson, meanwhile, says the discussions will be followed up.
Today we invited the Deputy Minister for Education in charge of tertiary sector, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa. He wasn't able to make it, but he sent able representation. A copy of this show is going to be sent to the ministry. We have a relationship with the ministry, so we will continue to interact with them, trying to find what particular issues have been raised here that they consider worth pursuing, because we can't just talk into empty air.
The Ghana Education Service has warned school authorities not to prevent any student from exercising their religious right. Acting Director General of the GES, Jacob Kaur, insists Christians and Muslims must coexist in all schools despite their diverse religious backgrounds.
Is that let us coexist and learn from others, and others learn from us. We are all working towards one thing. We are worshiping one God, one Allah, and we should not divide the unity of Ghana. For Nkrumah said, we are all one nation, one common people with one common destiny. That is what we are looking for. We still want the oneness for a common purpose.
Here's the case: some of these mission schools are saying that everything that must be done in their schools must be done strictly according to their beliefs.
I don't believe that is what they are saying. That is not what they are saying. Go to the mission schools and you see, let me tell you, there are schools where some Muslims have even headed the schools before.
I don't know if you read the statement that was released by the Catholic Bishops' Conference.
What we are saying is, any denomination that has its own way of worship, those who are not belonging to that denomination should be tolerant. And tolerance doesn't mean that we should also be condemning them. That is not what, if you condemn, as I said in one of my statements during the Peace Council presentation, is it not we, the Muslims, who are criticizing the Christians? Is it not we, the Christians, who are criticizing the Muslims?
Gender activist and blogger Kina Likimani is calling on media houses to be circumspect and professional in reporting rape issues and not get swayed by posts and comments on social media. Speakers on Joy FM's program Ghana Connect were unanimous that traditional media is regulated by code of ethics that practitioners must abide by and serve as gatekeepers on sensitive information, especially relating to child abuse and sexual molestation.
And a lot of people, I like to use the term police. We police each other. So at some point, I was out of town. When I came back, people were talking about don't circulate the pictures, don't circulate, so we are always confronting each other on different issues, okay? I concede there's a lot of work those of us who are passionate about social media need to do even more to protect victims. But let me also make the lines clear here. Social media is not traditional media. Traditional media is not social media. I want to refer to the Nayele case that came a long time ago. That at the time when the pictures were being circulated about who could possibly, what the image of Nayele was, it wasn't just ordinary social media citizens, it was Ghanaian journalists on social media. The problem we continue to have is not so much social media people, but traditional media, Ghanaian newsbreakers, because that's all you guys do, you break news, continually feeling like you need to compete with what the citizens are doing, either behaving or misbehaving on social media, and there is a difference to it.
What I wanted to put out was, first of all, to let people understand that whatever you're doing on your WhatsApp, sending photos, is criminal.
Absolutely.
Plain simple. Section 218, putting out obscenity. You just can't put anything out there. There's a question of enforcement and who can catch you. And so that bit is a bit weak, and you don't have...
So I can get away with it.
And people mostly get away with it.
If I'm on social, I can get away with it.
But,
that's what you're saying.
But the law also makes provision for a person's property in terms of be it your computer or whatever.
We've had a case in Ghana where a boy was sentenced for 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Publishing nude pictures of the girlfriend.
Publishing things. And again, I go back to then the strategic objective. So, like Notte said, you get a story, and like Malik is saying, the way it broke, it's fair. She is a celebrity, a news presenter, or I mean, she's on radio. She cannot be found. Employer is concerned. But the moment the nude pictures come, that's where you draw the line. And then say, I am not going to publish. I mean, for mainstream media. And that's what you often find in the advanced systems. There, a line is quickly drawn.
Countries that have given us support and we've used our own money. It's sad that after all these efforts, we still talk as if nothing is there.
But then maybe you should listen. Maybe you should listen. We have a culture that silences women. So my point is, you are talking about your structures. I am here telling you that women feel silence.
Kina, I've worked with women longer than you can even listen.
My point is that quoting me the laws. Every time
the laws came from something.
When you started quoting the Constitution, it's like, here we go. One day we'll actually manifest this in our real life.
Granted, but let me tell you, that is what will protect you. That is what will protect you.
Granted, I wouldn't depart from I wouldn't depart from the gendered nature. Look at our our sexual offences. They are very gendered.
In a society where to even walk in and get the police to pay attention to any case, you have to pay. You want to sit here and tell me that we have things that are working?
Any discussion which has discussed some of these fees? Have you?
What fees? I've had cases.
Okay. So this is the point I'm making.
Hold your fire. Let's
Etonam is here with some business news. Etonam, quickly, what do you have in the business news tonight?
Well, it appears that we have some bad news with our cocoa.
Bad
I'll be
news.
bringing you details of that in a bit.
Not so good. Let's see how it goes.
All right, my name is Etonam. Ghana's cocoa production for the 2014-2015 season will fall to between 730,000 and 750,000 tons, following an outbreak of fungal black pod disease. The forecast downgrade was contained in a note from EcoBank published by Reuters, adding it could drive the world market into deficit after several years of surpluses. EcoBank is said to have also highlighted farmers' struggle to get access to fungicides to treat disease-infected crops, while shortages of financing and fertilizers have also hurt production. Cocoa Board, according to Reuters, is however maintaining its forecast for the current season at 850,000 tons, though it said it could revise that figure in the weeks ahead. Cocoa Board had initially predicted output of around 1 million tons of cocoa at the start of this season in October. The International Cocoa Organization has forecast Ghana's output this season at 810,000 tons.
In Blackport, since the
Bank of Ghana has urged to revise the age at which one can own and run a savings account. The current age limit of 18 is said to hamper efforts at imbibing the culture of savings into the youth. Speaking to Joy Business at a multi-stakeholder conference on child and youth financial services in Ghana, Managing Director of HFC Bank, Asari Kufu, says a revision is needed to encourage savings in the country.
You need to be 18 years and above to be able to have a bank account. The flexibility at the moment is that maybe you can get the parents to approve for. That then affects the market and the growth of any product that is youth targeted. It inhibits the growth of youth-related products. And we think that there must be a discussion around the table to find a more flexible way for the young people to be able to open accounts without having to get an adult involved. There must be a streamlined way to do that. And I think that if we look at best practice elsewhere, we'll be able to adopt a more convenient process for the youth of our country below the age of 18 years.
All products made in Ghana will, in the coming days, be required to carry the recently unveiled Made in Ghana logo before they can be allowed on the local market. Beyond that, government also wants the logo embossed on all imports. As curious as this may sound, the Minister of Trade and Industry says it forms part of measures to drive its Made in Ghana campaign. Meanwhile, a token will be charged for each embossment of the logo to raise revenue for the state.
Kospio Gabra was speaking at the inauguration of a 7-member board for the Ghana Heavy Equipment Limited, GHEL. According to him, processes to implement this new directive and all others related to the Made in Ghana campaign will be concluded next month.
The logo itself is iconic and is going to be an important symbol that we expect all products that will eventually carry it. And it's not every Made in Ghana product that will carry it. Products made in Ghana will be given the opportunity to be eligible to receive that logo after a certain process of assessment of quality, standardization and certification. And it will also not be free, as we said. It will be something that will be valuable enough for companies to want to pay a little bit of something to have it on their embossed on their products, because we as Ghanaians will also then be educated on a long-term sustainable basis that any product you are going to buy, you see a store shelf, there are 15 different products, look for that Made in Ghana logo before you buy it. That will be coming up very shortly within the next month. We'll have to finish with the policy making dimensions.
Dr. Spio Gabra also charged the 7-member board to ensure the GHEL, which primarily deals in the distribution of automobiles, becomes a viable government entity. Chief Executive of the company, Engineer Yidana Mahami, in his response, indicated GHEL has laid down plans to partner the private sector to make the company more productive.
We do our own assembly, and we think that that is an advantage, and we are actually working on that, and I believe very soon we'll have an opportunity for the minister to actually adopt that project as we assembled in Ghana tractors, and I think that will also give us an advantage to look at when Ghana is looking for locally made goods. I think they can consider it because we are doing the assembly in Ghana. Deputy Trade Minister Kweku Ricketts-Hagan was also sworn in as a board member of the Export Trade Agricultural and Industrial Development Fund, EDIF.
All right, so that's it for business. My name is Atani. Sports is next.
Business news. Time to do some sports, and it's all about the Joy Sports Invitational. We're 24 hours to season 8 of the Joy Sports Invitational on Saturday at the OWAC Stadium, and all teams are fine-tuning their tactics. We complete our build-up with Goldman Capital, who tell us they'll make a huge impact on their debut.
But both Goldman Capital. Goldman, we are coming to participate in the Joy FM Invitational Tournament. We'll make sure that we win a lot of the trophies. Last time we participated in such a game, we went to the final in the football matches. This time we are going to win more trophies. We win the volley, we win the athletics. We have a lot of players among us. We have our Madonas and the Usain Bolt. We are bringing all of them, and we'll make sure that we win more trophies.
I'm the lead striker for the team. So all defenders out there, be careful, because my first touch on the ball, second touch will be a goal.
So we are coming in our numbers. We have a lot of pregnant women with us here. So the pregnant women out there, they should be aware that we are coming to score them, and then the penalties too. We are coming with our numbers, so they should be aware.
All right, that's Goldman Capital. We'll see them tomorrow. Of course, multimedia getting ready. But this afternoon, we have the official draw, and every team now has a great idea of what to expect tomorrow. Pictures rolling on your screens now in terms of where Team Multimedia now know that they're up against Tigo, who have an internal league. And so it's going to be quite interesting with what Team Multimedia will be doing there in Group A. That'll be rolling on your screen as well. We know we have up to 14 teams, plus Team Multimedia making the 15 will be competing tomorrow at the OWAC Stadium starting at 8:30. All that you need will be coming your way live on Joy 99.7 FM, and we'll bring you all the details as well later on in the news bulletin. So that's what you have on your screen in terms of how the parents look like and how everything panned out really this afternoon. So it's all set for the Joy Sports Invitational Season 8. Now, Hearts of Oak managed a 2-1 victory over Joliba AC of Mali in the 1/8 stage of the CAF Confederations Cup. Goals from Gilbert Fiamino and Paul Aqua nullified the consolation goal by the home side to put their noses in front in the two-leg tie. Hearts of Oak will be hosting Joliba AC in the Kwa in a fortnight. So there's more to expect from that as we roll it on. We can now have a look at the CAF Confederations Cup fixtures that will take place this weekend, and that's on your screen now. So these are the teams that will be doing it. Of course, 2 have already played. I just told you that Hansburg won by 2-1. We'll also see Munana of Gabon coming up against Orlando Pirates of South Africa. That's a great game you want to look ahead to. And Zamalek also up against Rabat of Morocco. Now, let's have a look at what to expect in the CAF Champions League. The games as well coming your way. We know the Kumasi Asante Kotoko exited the CAF Champions League. They lost to Aluma. But these are some of the big games to look ahead to. There's Leopards up against Samoa. We also have Aluma up against Faxen. And all these games will be coming away. There's a big one. Also, Almerek up against Esperance of Tunisia. And there, Harrison Nafo plays his football. Talking about the fixtures, we can have a look at what to expect in the English Premier League this weekend. Tomorrow there's a big one between Chelsea and Manchester United. Everybody's looking ahead to that big game. Arsenal, Liverpool giving a break because they are currently in the FA Cup and will be playing their games. The Man City as well will come up against West Ham United. All right, now Balotelli is the most abused Premier League player on social media. Now, almost 40,000 abused messages aimed at Premier League players. You know, many of them racist have been posted actually here. But according to the anti-discrimination body Kick It Out, Liverpool's Italian forward Mario Balotelli was the most abused player, with some 8,000 posts of which were, more than half were racist in nature. His teammates Daniel Sturridge and Arsenal's Danny Welbeck were also regular victims. So you just ask yourself, how come these players continue attracting things like this? And there's one question Balotelli has up there anytime he takes off his shirt. Why me? Why you, Balotelli? That'll be all for sports. Have a great weekend. Get to join us with some more. Good night.
Before we leave, let's take a look at our top stories again. Authorities at Akuse prisons ordered to produce 8 prisoners who could not be accounted for when the Justice for All program went there to review their cases for possible release. Victims of crime in the Upper West Regional Capital decline opportunity to identify their attackers for fear their accomplices may come after them. President John Mahama has commissioned a Nungwa desalination plant and is assuring residents that the quality of water produced there is amongst the best in the world. 6 people have been killed in an accident involving an ISTC minibus in Dawenya. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com and multitvworld.com. My name is Gifty. And Pia, many thanks for your time. Up next is PM Express with Nana and Sakwa. Please stay tuned.
This is Joy News Prime.